and feel like
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk Live with SpillitBoyTV. Listen, it has been a huge weekend for the Carlos King and OWN Network. And I had a couple of questions. And one of the biggest questions is, with all that we have going on, did Carlos King steal from social media and content creators and some cable stations? Did he steal? We're going to talk about it. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk Live with SpillitBoyTV. And child, y'all know who I am, honey. And for those of you who don't, I am SpillitBoyTV. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Newbiology. And just read my book. I see you guys out there, Anthony, Monique Love. It's good to see you guys. Happy Sunday to you too, baby. Hi, Desiree. Listen, so, okay, over the weekend, let me just say, everybody knows at this point, everybody knows about Love and Marriage Huntsville because it's been a huge hit for the OWN Network. And that would not be possible without one old nasty piece of Carlos King. Carlos King is the brains behind that. He's the brains behind the Bell Collective, and he's also the brains behind Love and Marriage DC, starring Monique Samuels, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac. So, along with all of this being debuted this weekend on Saturday, Carlos actually unleashed upon, and that's what he did. That's what he did. Baby, Carlos unleashed upon us his first television show of his own. And he told us, you know, this has been a dream of his since he was 12 years old to have his own show and not actually just be behind the camera and producing and moving the pieces around to make wonderful reality TV. And that's what he did. And the show is called The Nightcap with Carlos King. And that is on OWN as well. It came on right after Love and Marriage DC premiered on the OWN Network this Saturday. So I watched the show. And I'm a fan. Let me just say that right away. I am a fan of Carlos King. When it comes to reality TV, there is a king and there is a queen of reality television that deals with melanated folk, and that is Carlos King is the king and Mona Scott Young is queen. And I don't care what anybody says. They are two of the best that ever do it as far as I'm concerned, okay? So I literally, if Carlos's name is on it, I'm going to take a look at it. I don't review all the shows, but most of them I do. I didn't do Bell Collective. I didn't do Huntsville. I do pop my head in and I watch Huntsville, you know, from time to time. But it's no less brilliant as anything else he's done. I got acquainted with Carlos when he was over at his time at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and you all know how big of a fan I am of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, again, Carlos King, you got the right name. He is the king of handling and getting these shows moving and making them work. Okay. And there's been other productions of his that I've watched and loved and all that. But with this here show, this Nightcap with Carlos King, it raised the question: did Carlos steal? Has Carlos been watching social media? You damn bet he has. Has Carlos been watching other networks and his wheels spinning? You damn bet he was. Has he watched his peers, other people, his peers and us? Us, I say us collectively, YouTubers. Yes, he has. And has he taken the ideas, a lot of the ideas from what he saw, and put them into creating his own show? You damn bet he did. Now, this is where I get to saying, I hate to be the one to say I told you so. Okay? But I did. I did. There is a difference between stealing content and using an idea or content as inspiration for what you want to do. I always say it's inspiration is fine. Stealing is not cool. It's not cool. With this show, Carlos skated the line so close. I mean, Carlos, he may never see this video, but baby, you skated the line so closely of damn near stealing. So close. But the thing is, when you're using something that someone else created, you have to be able to stand in the fact that you are borrowing, stand in the fact that you are using their idea as inspiration, and not trying to, oh no, no. You have to be able to tell the truth about what it is that you are doing. And that is what actually saved face for me with Carlos King and this show. The Nightcap is fantastic. It is fantastic. It is. I sat here and I watched it, and I'm telling you, it damn near brought a tear to my eye because, one, I live for grind. I live for you to have something that you want to do, and then you get it done. I don't give a damn how long it takes. And this is one of those stories. This man said he's been trying to do this since he was 12. He done made shows for how many people? He's turned how many reality stars into reality stars? He did that. That was done at his hand. But he always had his own thing that he wanted to do. And when I sat and I watched it, I said, I get it. I get it. And like I said, he skated the line really, really close, but he really did throw out. There were a lot of things that were thrown out. I got this from here. I got this from there. That kind of thing. And it was things that you could tell that he genuinely loved, and he did them and he put his twist on them. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what you do with inspiration. Now, I'm just going to run down through some of the places that he snatched stuff for his show. He snatched stuff from Kaya and T.S. Madison. He snatched stuff from Bravo Andy. He snatched stuff from the Sister Circle. Go figure. Snatched it right out. Let me just start explaining. So he has the show. This show is nothing more than it's a copy of Andy Cohen's What Happens Live. That's all it is. This is his version of Andy Cohen's What Happens Live with the Carlos King spin on it. He put his zhuzh to it. He ramped it up. And that's what I said. If you're going to borrow an idea, you damn well better take it up 10 notches. And he did just that. The set is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Blue velvet chair. It's gorgeous. Now, Andy's set for What Happens Live is very, it's it reminds me of going into an old, it's like going into an area of town that has a street of boutiques. Boutiques. Not newer boutiques, but boutiques from back in the day. And it feels like you would go in there and it kind of smell like they have vintage clothing laying around. That's what it kind of seems like. What's going on, Fantastic Hi, baby? That's what it feels like when you watch Andy at Bravo with What Happens Live. It is cozy. It's cozy and old. It's cozy and old, and it feels like vintage shopping. That's what it feels like. Carlos King's feels like I hate to just say royalty because I think that's kind of where it was going, but that's what it gives. It gives a royalty a plush royalty feel. Like the chairs are like, well, all right. And everything was just done pretty. Everything was pretty and everything is overdone. Everything's overdone. Now, keep in mind on what's happening live, Andy's always in a suit, but it's a scaled down suit. You know, it's like just a regular suit, like he's going to work somewhere. You know, he could wear those suits, and I'm sure those suits cost a shit ton of money. But Andy could wear his suits right on over to the AT&T, to the PNC Bank, to the, you know, it's just a regular old working suit. That goddamn Carlos King stepped out there in a nasty piece of silver and black tux. You didn't want a day of it. Do you understand me? Silver and black tux, baby. Clean as the board of goddamn health. Clean, clean, clean. Fitted to perfection. Clean. The boy walked out there looking like money. Do you understand me? Looking like, but he always does. He always does. Even when he's dressed down, Carlos King looks like money. He's very meticulous in his look. He's sharp, good looking, built nice, everything like that. Always together. He's snatched, completely snatched. His first guests were Monique Samuels, and he also had Melody. She said Melody. What did she say? Her name is Melody Shanae. I think it's Shanae, because she took that last name off. She's from Huntsville. So, but they was clean, both of them clean. That doggone, and I know he had his hand on it. I'm sure he went over with a fine-tooth comb of what was going to be shown on that first episode. Monique had on, because you know, sometimes Monique be sharp, but sometimes Monique be a little hit or miss. Monique's hair was so shari. That's what it was. It was Melody Shari. That doggone Monique, she's hit or miss sometime. Monique had her hair pulled up, her dress pulled up in a ponytail, and it was stacked and pen curled. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Makeup was beat for the people in the cheap seats in the back. Beat. She had on this purple and iridescent sequin and beaded dress, and it had these iridescent pailles on the shoulders. It was a mini, and this badass damn slingback gold pump. Clean, 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 clean. And Melody was in a black netted dress that gave you the whole swimsuit feel underneath. Sharp, all black, black on black on black, and had this badass black Louis Vuitton belt on, and hair excellent. So this badass bob, this bad one side bob, clean. Everybody looked good. Like nobody was missing the mark. Everybody was clean, clean, clean. And she had a bad old nasty piece of gold sandal on. You could see them underneath the dress because the dress was netted. So everything looked good. The set looked good. The people looked good. He has DJ Princess Cut. He is a female DJ. And she was clean. You understand me? She was up there clean on the ones and the twos. Now, this was the first thing, second place, where I said, oh, we didn't snatch a little piece of inspiration. That whole thing of DJ Princess Cut, that DJ Princess Cut is what Funky Dineva was supposed to be to the Sister Circle, but it was done correctly here. Sister Circle didn't get it right. I've always said that from the door. I love that they tried to add Funky into it. And they respected him and they wanted to add him to the fray. But the Sister Circle was just that for me. It was a Sister Circle. It was a place for women. That show was about those 4 women that actually sit on that panel, just like The View is a place for women. I don't think that there should ever be a male, a co-host that is a guest, sure. But the actual panel for The View should always be for women. It's a girls thing, and that's how it should stay. I felt the same way about the Sister Circle. It is a sister circle, and that's what it needs to be. We don't need it to be anything other than that. It is a girls thing. Though sometimes you got to just let the girls have their thing, and that's what happened with me with Sister Circle. Funky Dineva didn't fit in. I love that they gave him the job and they tried to make it work. It just didn't even feel good. It didn't feel right. It just didn't work. It didn't work, and he was off after what, a week or two. It was that, they looked at it. It just didn't even look right. But this girl here, this woman, DJ Princess, because she's an actual DJ. She was actually pumping some beats, and she wasn't just looking the part. You could tell she really was the part. So this is what I'm talking about, that ramping it up to that 10 time. You got an actual DJ. She's sitting over there giving you the whole Spinderella vibe. It was everything. So she looked good. She's pretty. Had her hair in these badass Zulu knots. I was like, okay, girl. So I was loving that. Then he just had different little segments that he had going on in the show. And they were borrowed and they were taken from other places. The Queen's Court, that was the one that was like real. I said, oh, baby, 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 you are skating that line right there. He came out with this crown on, tipped sideways. He's sitting in this chair, and it's the King's Court. The King's Court instead of the Queen's Court. He got the gavel and the mat. Pap, 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 pap. Next caller. Next caller. The whole thing. Well, he didn't say next caller, but that's what anytime I see that being done in social media, you got to give it to where it belongs. That belongs to Kaya. That's Kaya. That is Kaya all day. The bang, 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 next call. That's Kaya. That is Kaya. So that was that. And then we're sitting there, and then you got Maddie's element, because Maddie's the one that took it over to the next level with the backdrop and the sitting in the robes and the whole night, that whole thing where it elevated. That belonged to Maddie. He has a podium where there were certain questions that they put the girls in the hot seat, and they had to get up out of their chair and go behind the podium and answer the question for the hot seat. And the whole testifying at the podium. That whole thing, that I felt it was homage to Maddie and Kaya and the Queen's Court, the original Queen's Court. I can't even give all the credit to just Maddie and the Queen's Supreme Court. No, that was a throwback to the original Queen's Court, and I was here for it. It was done, and it was done seamless, and it was done well, and it looked nice. He didn't shout them out with that one, and I just kind of said, oh. But again, there's so much controversy that actually goes around that. It probably was better not to say anything. If you weren't going to say Kaya and Maddie, it's probably better to just leave it alone, because you don't want to acknowledge Kaya or acknowledge Maddie without acknowledging Maddie. You can't. You can't. The original idea itself is the two of them, and ain't no need to shake it. Ain't no need to shake it. I'll put the names on it. That was a snatch from the Queen's Court, the original Queen's Court, which is both Maddie and Kaya collectively made that thing. That thing was something wonderful. So yes, that was snatched completely from YouTubers on social media. Maddie is a YouTuber. Kaya is a YouTuber. It was snatched directly from YouTube. And I was like, yes, you watching, and you paying attention. And he did it really, really well. What else? The set. Oh, he has another little spot, because if you follow Carlos on social media, he does like inspirational quotes a lot on his social media. So he has a piece where he calls the read of the night, and he went in his jacket pocket, he pulls out these sunglasses and said, "The library is open." That was snatched directly from you know who, honey, RuPaul, honey. That was taken directly from RuPaul's Drag Race. That is RuPaul's situation. And he did shout her out that he was using that. And he put the little glasses, because that's what they do. They put the glasses on, baby, and then they read down. Now, the only difference, he didn't read, really. He just kind of gave something really positive. Whereas when Ru pull out them glasses and say, honey, the library's open, them old nasty queens get to dragging, honey. So he keeps it positive, which is, again, you borrowed an idea and you put your own spin on it. He changed it. It's the same thing, but he changed it and put the Carlos King spin on it. His situation is a more positive note. In his note, he actually told us a story about the fact that he has wanted this since he was 12 years old. He teared up, and he actually dedicated the show to his mom. His mom has actually transitioned, so he had dedicated the show to his mom, which was beautiful. He also talked about a teacher when he was he talked about this earlier on the show. He was in the 6th grade, and one of his teachers sent a progress report home, and she thought she was being smart. See, if I was a parent, I probably would have cussed her out. But she sent the thing that said he's smart and creative, but he's also a bit sassy. If she'd have said that about my boy home, I'd have checked her goddamn chin. Yes, I would, because I know what you mean, honey, when you say he's a bit sassy, honey. And he knew what you meant too, and that's why he said it. He says, I'd like to say to the teacher, he called her by name and said, if you stick to what it is that you want to do, even little boys who are smart and creative and sassy can have their own TV shows. I said, see, that's a read, honey. That's an old nasty piece of read on the old teacher that was trying to be smart with her sassy comment, honey. She tried it, honey. She tried it. But, so that was really cool. And the show, literally, he'll never run out of guests, which is the smart thing. It's just like Andy. You'll not run out of guests because all the guests, they work for you. They work for you, or they've worked for you. He has a large pool to pull from of guests. Smart as hell. Smart. I told you, one of the best to ever do it. One of the best to ever do it. Reality TV is his zhuzh. It is his space. It is his lane. When you're good, child. But when I tell you they were dropping tea, and he's shady. Baby, he's shady, and he kikis, and he has it all worked out. Like, you could tell it's really put together. They know exactly when to zoom in on Carlos's face, because he's his facial, he can't hide it. I understand. First hand. But there was one point, they was reading so bad, he just took a gold thing and just put it over top of his face, honey. I said, oh, he's like, my expression, I can't give that expression right now. They were, when I say that Melody and that Monique were reading. Monique, child, she's still bitter about her whole departure from Real Housewives of Potomac. She was just dragging, baby. She went right on there and gut punched Giselle right quick. I said, oh, Jesus, honey. The only two people that are important is Karen Huger and Ashley. They're the only ones I kept in touch with. Andy's okay, but yeah, the rest of them, I was like, oh. Talked about Giselle so bad, talking about she can't dress and she this, that, there. I said, dragged her. Honey said that she can't dress, she starts shit all the time, and she can't keep a man. I said, oh, a mess. Melody bust out, talked about one of her castmates, and got to talk about how she paid her utility bill and spent like $5,000 to $6,000. So I'm a good friend. If I come to your house, I don't wait on you to ask me for anything. I take care of the problem. If I come to your house and you got a utility bill overdue, laying on your table, I just jump into action. I don't wait on you to ask me. And I said, well, how much did you spend? She said, oh, upwards of $5,000 to $6,000. I said, well, that whore was way behind, wasn't she? I said, shit, was her shit? She had no overdue notice. She had a 10-day cutoff. I said, baby, how much she owe? But they were rich. I think the show will do just fine because, baby, it is like the tea that he did it the Carlos way and the way that only Carlos could do it. Andy couldn't do what Carlos is doing, and I don't think Carlos could do it the way that Andy does. Because Andy, look how long What Happens. I remember the very first episode of What Happens Live. I knew the show was going to be a hit. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. I knew it was very, very smart, and it was tailored to Bravo Andy and his, because he's another one. He's a mess, he is. And Andy asked them questions, baby, and Andy, he don't back down from questions. He say all kind of stuff, child. He openly flirts with folks, and he lets you know what he thinks. And Andy does it like only, and nobody else could do that show but Andy. And this show right here, bing, 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 I think we got a hit because can't nobody else do this like Carlos. Can't nobody else do this like Carlos. So I'll answer my own question. Did Carlos King steal from social media and cable for his show? No, he did not steal. He used inspiration. He used inspiration from things that he truly cared for in the worlds of social media and cable television. And he did it the way that it's supposed to be done. He stood in it. He didn't try to pretend like it was all his own idea. He literally took what he liked and made it work for him. And he did a goddamn fantastic job. And I am completely here for it. That's it. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Listen, if you're going to do something, do it right. Do it right. This was done right. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out at Kitchen Table Talk Live with SpillitBoy TV. I'm up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all are watching Carlos and Chow. I will be putting out my review for Love and Marriage DC. It will be up within the half hour. All right, you guys. Have a great night.
And feel like